Good morning, everyone. Week 3 for some of you that have returned back to school, which is brilliant, which is my third assembly. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about resilience and what resilience means and how we can develop our resilience, how we can become more resilient, and how it's useful in our everyday lives. I'm just going to share my screen with you to share a little bit more about resilience. Okay, so just have a little think. What do you think resilience means? It's a word that over the past few years we've used quite a lot in school. But what does it actually mean? Do we actually know? Do we really understand? So just have a little think to yourself. So there's two definitions of resilience if we look it up in a dictionary. And the first one is a material's ability to spring back into shape. A material's ability to spring back into shape. So can you think of any materials which might do that? That might spring back into shape? Have a little think. If you scrunched something up, what material could you think that would spring back into shape? It's a bit like those tents, isn't it? When I do those pop-up tents in our reading area, I think they're quite a resilient material, aren't they? Because I have to twist them into a figure of 8 to get them tiny back into their bag, and then they spring out back into their shape, and they make those fabulous buses and a rocket that we had last time. But there's another meaning of resilience, and it's the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. To be able to recover quickly from difficulties. What does that mean to you, to be able to recover quickly from difficulties? So today we're going to think about the second definition, but in some ways our resilience is similar to a material's ability to spring back into shape. So us being able to recover quickly from a difficulty, from something going wrong, is just like those materials, it's just like those tents that spring back into shape. Being able to recover, being able to spring back, to be able to come back from something when things go wrong. So, during the moon flight of Apollo 13 on the 14th of April in 1970, one of the crew started a conversation with their US base in Houston by saying, "Houston, we have a problem." There was actually a life-threatening fault with the spaceship's oxygen tank, and the crew had to relay the information and work together to deal with the situation. They were resilient. The spaceship landed safely and all the crew survived. Their resilience saved them. So they had a huge problem. They had to deal with that problem. They had to work together. They had to stay calm, not give up, stick at it, because I bet the first thing they tried, well, that perhaps didn't work. And then maybe they had to try something else. Oh, that didn't work. Bet there was quite a few things they had to try before they could fix such a large problem. But luckily, because they were resilient, because they stuck at it and they didn't give up, they were all safe. So facing a problem. Problems are an inevitable part of life. That means they're going to happen. No matter how organised we are, no matter how many lists we make, no matter how hard we try, problems are going to happen. Some days seem to be full of problems, and at other times they seem problem-free. Problems can be little or large, but they do need dealing with, whatever their size. So what if it all goes wrong? There are times when things just don't go to plan. We find ourselves with a problem, we face it, we deal with it, and it all goes wrong. So what then? Talk to a person near to you if you can talk across the tables if you're in school, or just think to yourself, or if you're at home, talk to somebody around you about a time when something went wrong. Now have a little think, or talk to the person around you if you can, safely. How does that make you feel? We did some work, or some children did some work with Mrs. Clough and Miss Thomas in school about feelings. So how does it make you feel when things go wrong? It might make you feel angry. We might feel a sudden urge of anger about something that has happened, which is out of our control, and we often want to blame someone else. We might feel worried or nervous or concerned about what might happen next. Something's gone wrong. Or we might be worried what's going to go wrong next, what's going to happen now because that's gone wrong. We might feel upset and want to cry. We might have a feeling of dread, so it might build up because we might think, oh, something's gone wrong and there's going to be consequences. We might get in trouble, or we might hurt somebody else by telling them that something's gone wrong, something's happened, and now something else might happen as a consequence of that. We might want to hide. Yeah, often we want to escape, we want to avoid the problem, we just want to hide from it. All of these are completely normal. Okay, all of those, when things go wrong, are completely normal. And I have had a day where things have just gone wrong. And I think, looking at that list, I've probably felt all of those today. Every single one of them I've probably felt today, when things have just gone wrong. Okay, so just have a moment to think, how do you feel when things go wrong? Do you feel all of them? A mix of them? So, what can we do? I've told you that problems are going to happen and you can't avoid them. That can be quite frustrating because I'm quite an organised person and I like to think, well, problems won't happen to me because I've got my list, but they do happen. I've told you that all of those feelings are normal, so you might feel angry and sad and worried, but what can we do? We don't want to feel all of those things, although they are completely normal. So what we can do is try to build our resilience. That will help us with dealing with these problems, because these problems are going to happen. These feelings that we feel, they're going to be there. It's how we carry on. Okay, so do we sit there and just feel cross forever and ever and ever? Do we just sit there and cry and feel sad forever and ever and ever? Or could we try and do something? And it's like those lessons that we talk about at school, when I put up those pictures and we talk about how we're feeling and what we can do to change how we're feeling. So it's a similar thing to that. So these are things that we can do to try and help us build our resilience, help us be able to spring back like that pop-up tent from a problem. A problem's come, it's made the tent go small. How can we spring back? So we can learn from our mistakes. That's a great one. We all make mistakes. Even grown-ups still make mistakes. But being able to say to yourself, that went wrong. What can I do next time to do it a little bit differently? So it could be that you made a cake and it went wrong and there was a mistake. So you might think, what could I do next time? Maybe you made a bad choice and you hurt somebody or hurt somebody's feelings. And again, they're mistakes that you can learn from. You can think, maybe next time I need to deal with that in a different way. Maybe you could take a break. So when things just keep going wrong and wrong and wrong, and it's like a game of Jenga and everything just keeps falling down, sometimes you just need to take a break. Maybe go for a little walk, play a game, do something that will cheer you up, read a book. watch a film, watch something on TV, talk to somebody that you really enjoy talking to. Sometimes just having that time away allows you to just calm down a little bit, feel a little bit better, make your head feel a little bit less cross, a little less worried, and then sometimes you can find a solution to that problem. You can always ask for help. Asking for help's a great thing when you've got a problem. Great way to build resilience. Rather than feeling sad or cross on your own, you can ask for help. Keep trying, just like those astronauts. Don't give up. Don't say it was all going to go wrong. Keep trying. Okay? Might not be the first thing that you try that fixes the problem. But if you keep going, eventually you'll find a way of fixing that problem. And it might be after you've had a break. It might be after you've had a break and you've asked for help. Okay? There's lots of things that you can do. But don't give up. Work hard. Keep working hard links in with that keep trying and not giving up. Maybe you could look at it a different way, and that's why it's good to ask for help. Maybe you've got so cross and frustrated. I'm thinking of when I'm trying to build a piece of furniture or something at home and I'm getting really cross and frustrated and the pieces don't fit together. If I ask for help, somebody else comes in and they say, oh, why don't we do it this way? And that's a great way of getting through a problem. Try to stay calm. Not easy, but when we're calm, we can almost usually find a way through our problem. When we get cross, when we cry, when we want to hide, when we get in our bed and pull our duvet up, we're not really finding any solutions to our problem. Although that is part of taking a break, and sometimes that can make us feel a little bit better. Okay, but try to stay calm if we can when there is a problem. See the funny side? I'm rubbish at that one. That's my target moving forward. See the funny side. When things go wrong, try and think, and try and see the funny side of things that have gone wrong. Okay, be kind to yourself. That's a great one, and that's one that we can all do. Be kind to yourself. If things go wrong, that is okay. Doesn't make you a bad person. Okay, doesn't make your idea bad, or the thing that you were trying to do bad. Doesn't make your cake bad. Just be kind to yourself. Learn from your mistakes and think, I can move forward. Tomorrow is a new day. So difficulties appear when we least expect them, and they can throw us off course and make everything seem hard. A little bit like now, how we've all had to change how we do our jobs and how we go to school and how we do our learning. And it does make it seem really hard, and there are days when I'm sure we feel all of those things on that list of emotions. But if we're kind to ourselves, it just makes things a little bit easier. Give yourself time and don't be too hard on yourself. Everyone makes mistakes and everyone has a bad day. Try to work out how you can avoid something happening again, and above all, be kind to yourself. Like the material which springs back into shape, our inner resilience can help us to bounce back and keep on trying. So, try to remember that pop-up tent when I'm down at the end of the classroom trying to twist it all back together in its tiny little bag. But we can pop up just like a butterfly getting its wings when it's been a caterpillar. Okay, and we can keep pushing through these really, really difficult times. And they are really, really difficult. They're difficult for you, they're difficult for me, they're difficult for all of us. But we need to be resilient. We have to keep going. We have to be kind to ourselves. We have to be kind to each other. If we've got a problem, share it. We can all try and help find solutions to problems. And above all, stay safe and take care of yourself. Bye, everyone.